It's somebody else that probably can't be saved is CM Punk. And I just want to talk about this very quickly because I'm a big wrestling fan and I saw this happen. But CM Punk was fired, everybody. If you're a big fan of wrestling, AEW, he was fired from AEW because he actually did a backstage. Like, he was backstage, he started fighting with another wrestler. Yeah. Jack Perry. Him and Jack Perry, though, Mike got into a fight, an alteration backstage, apparently, during All In London. And they had a week-long, they went for a week, had a whole, week-long, going through the whole thing, inspecting the whole thing, trying to figure out what happened, collecting evidence, and having a whole investigation into this. Evidence. And then they decided that they let CM Punk go. Now, he's been there for 3 years. I know, CM Punk, he's been around for a while. If you watch wrestling, he has always been controversy.
Long time, yeah.
Well, yeah, lots of controversy, but they're going back and forth being like, well, what actually happened? Now, some people are saying that backstage, he actually went up to the guy and he grabbed him and started hitting him and choking him. And then they said in the other way that, Jack Perry grabbed him and choked him. They were fighting backstage.
Though? Don't they do that?
Yeah, but not backstage. I know, right, Sabrina? But it just happened backstage. You can't have this in the business. And there's still no word what actually happened because this is just rumors, insiders. Some people are like, no, it didn't happen. They just got into words backstage and that was it. But I mean, somebody had to be physically hurt or attacked, I think, to fire someone, especially CM Punk, who was champion. He was a world champion at the time. He just defended the title and won that night. To fire him a week later is kind of a weird thing unless there was something bad that happened. And CM Punk has a temper. So I see this being a thing.
There was an internal investigation though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Huge investigation for a week. And then the owner was like,
happening.
The sleuthing was happening.
Internal investigation in wrestling. What does that mean?
The Department of the Interior.
Hitting each other's faces and hitting each other and then Sabrina.
I'm sorry.
The sleuthing had begun, Sabrina. The sleuthing had begun. But for CM Punk fans,
Law & Order SVU.
I hope they did too. But for CM Punk fans out there, you're probably upset about this, but anybody else probably whatever. And it's but I mean, it's big to the entertainment industry because it's big to wrestling, which is also entertainment. It's not really wrestling. It is wrestling, but it's entertainment based. So hence why WWF became World Wrestling Entertainment. So
can we expand on this just a little bit, Brian? I don't know if everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody in the comments is familiar with this, or everybody at large is with the concept of kayfabe. Rachel, Sabrina, you guys know what kayfabe is?
I've heard of it. Yes, it's like being a personality, like being
you pretend that it's real, right? You're doing an entertainment thing, but the fact that people are willing to come give you money and continue to pay is contingent upon the fact that they believe that it's the real deal. So unlike the serious animosity and aggression that we have for each other all the time on Cruise Control, which is very, very serious and mean-spirited and continue way into reality.
That's only when I've had too much to drink on a Friday, okay, Mike? Stop trying to make it all the time.
It's very early in the show. It's very early.
At you, Sabrina. We're a feisty bunch. We're a feisty bunch. Cruise Control is a feisty bunch. You can put that on record. I personally, I haven't been a massive wrestling fan, but I've been learning a little bit more. I should have been. The improvisational theater that these people have been doing is incredible, but also, the guys are injecting steroids.
Thanks, Goldie.
It gets
100%.
Oh yeah, they are. That's a whole thing.
It's aggressive,
HGH to the fucking extreme.
And it's really interesting. I'm listening to the Behind the Bastards podcast. They did a series on Vince McMahon that was really interesting. There's a Hulu series.
Heels is that. Well, that's a different thing.
What is it? There's
a heel show that's on Stars, but there's also Behind the Ring or behind the apron or
something like that.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring. That's what it is.
Yeah, on Hulu, and it's really interesting because they're interviewing
Japanese right now.
They're interviewing people that are in the industry, and they're talking about some events that are real, and of course they're continuing to try and sell a product. So it's so crazy the level of misinformation and disinformation that they're trying to sell you because it's still a product, but they're feeding in little bits of reality, which just is making it really, really compelling for me to at least look back into it from that perspective. So Brian, I'm kind of wondering what your take on the whole CM Punk situation is, because I think violence does happen. These people are in high pressure situations.
This happens all the time backstage.
Didn't they fire that other guy who does DDP yoga now? Who the fuck was that guy that they fired?
DDP?
No, the guy who does DDP yoga, like he transformed him.
Well, Scott Hall and Jake the Snake, they fired both them too.
No, not Jake the Snake.
But
Jesus,
Scott Hall,
Jake
but
the
Scott
Snake,
Hall.
that was like when I was 6. Like what? I mean,
But he transformed. But Scott Hall too was like raging. Oh, you're talking about Buff Bagwell.
Buff
Bagwell.
Thank
Buff is a
you.
stuff.
That's what I was
Him
talking
too. Like he was just fighting backstage too. He had a chance and he came out
and he
there
got
and
fired.
he
And
started
he was huge at
alteration
the time as
backstage.
well. It's very similar to this story.
Can't do that.
And by the way, just on the record, I can give a fuck less about any of that information that I'm passing on to you. It's just something that I happen to know and related to the topic, just to be clear.
Rachel's all about this, Rachel. Right?
You know, I'm a huge fan of violent sports with
Right on.
naked men rubbing on each other.
It took me a long time to get into
That
it
is
too,
not
Rachel.
gaying it up.
But Rachel, like someone that
It's a
starts
different
like
flavor of gay. It's the other flavor of gay.
it's like outside
Totally.
of the script though. Outside the script, they're getting into fights. Like that's not called for. That's like work
That's
violence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's inappropriate. They should be fired for
Inappropriate.
something like this. And it
Violence,
doesn't matter who you are.
exactly.
It's
blurring
workplace
the
violence.
lines.
It doesn't matter who you are. It shouldn't matter. I think that's a big thing for them to be like, hey, this doesn't stand. You know, you shouldn't be fighting other people. Like, yes, we fight in the ring, but we have that all planned out. Like shit happens, but you can't be making issues backstage, right? One of the energy drink.
absolutely.
Yeah, you did.
You need to be professional. That's it.
Yeah,
At any workplace, you just
Oh.
need to be professional at the end of the day.
Be a pro.
Hi, Mike's mom.